There is a country where temperatures reach 50 degrees, and people still build cities made entirely of glass. A place where one of the world's strictest legal systems exists alongside 5-star rooftop pools and Formula One races. A kingdom sitting on top of nearly 17% of the world's proven oil reserves, now spending billions to make sure it never needs that oil again. This is Saudi Arabia. And almost everything you think you know about it is either outdated or incomplete. Sand and blood, I tell you how Saudi Arabia was built. Most countries are shaped by revolutions, elections, or colonial borders drawn by foreigners. Saudi Arabia was shaped by one family. In 1902, a 21-year-old named Abdulaziz ibn Saud walked into the Mosmak fortress in Riyadh with fewer than 40 men. By morning, the city was his. Over the next 3 decades, he conquered tribe after tribe across the Arabian Peninsula, sometimes through warfare, sometimes through marriage alliances, sometimes through both on the same day. By 1932, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia existed on every map in the world. But here is the part most people skip: for the first 6 years of its existence, this brand new kingdom was essentially broke. The treasury survived on taxes collected from Hajj pilgrims visiting Mecca. Then, in 1938, American geologists drilling near Dhahran struck oil. That single moment divided Saudi history into before and after. Nothing would ever be the same. By the 1970s, Saudi Arabia controlled enough oil to cripple the entire Western economy, and it did exactly that during the 1973 embargo. Gas prices in America quadrupled. Lines at fuel stations stretched for blocks. Presidents made phone calls to Riyadh that sounded less like diplomacy and more like begging. Money flooded into the kingdom at a speed no society can absorb cleanly. Riyadh went from a mud-walled desert town to a concrete metropolis in under 20 years. Highways appeared where camel tracks had been. Hospitals, universities, entire neighborhoods materialized as if someone had pressed fast forward on civilization itself. But oil wealth created a problem economists call Dutch disease, when one resource becomes so profitable that every other industry slowly dies. By 2015, 90% of Saudi government revenue still came from petroleum. The entire economy balanced on a single commodity whose price could crash overnight. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman understood this. His response was a plan called Vision 2030, and it may be the most ambitious economic gamble any country has attempted this century. Imagine telling a country built entirely on oil that oil is no longer the future. That is essentially what happened. Vision 2030 aims to diversify the Saudi economy into tourism, entertainment, technology, and renewable energy, sectors that barely existed there a decade ago. The flagship project is NEOM, a planned city in the northwest desert estimated to cost $500 billion. One section, called the Line, is designed as a horizontal skyscraper stretching 170 kilometers through the desert. 0 cars. 0 streets. Mirrors on the exterior reflecting nothing but sand and sky. Critics call it science fiction. Supporters call it the kind of thinking that turned Dubai from a fishing village into a global hub in 30 years. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia opened its first cinemas in 2018, after a 35-year ban. Concerts featuring international artists now happen regularly in Riyadh. Women received the legal right to drive in 2018. A tourist visa program launched in 2019 for the first time in the kingdom's history. The speed of social change has stunned even long-time residents. Roughly 13 million foreign workers live in Saudi Arabia. That means more than 1 in 3 people you pass on any street in Riyadh was born in a different country. Workers from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the Philippines, Egypt, and dozens of other nations fill roles ranging from construction laborers to hospital surgeons. Life quality varies enormously depending on your salary bracket. Compound living, gated residential communities with pools, gyms, and Western-style social rules, remains common for higher-paid expatriates. Inside these compounds, life feels almost suburban American. Outside, the kingdom's laws apply fully. For blue-collar workers, reality looks different. Construction crews in Jeddah start shifts at 4 in the morning to avoid peak heat. Shared apartments in industrial districts house 6 or 8 men in spaces designed for 2. The kafala sponsorship system, which historically tied a worker's legal status to their employer, has undergone reforms, but labor rights organizations say enforcement remains inconsistent. Food culture bridges every gap. Kabsa, spiced rice with slow cook.